Multiple massive Bengals updates. This has major implications. Over the weekend, there were some starters not practicing and could be seeing some extended time out. We're going to discuss the impact this is going to have for the Bengals going forward, as their next preseason game is next Monday. But even so, the injuries continue to pile up. Welcome to the jungle. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. So happy to see you Bengals fans, and so glad to see you joining in on the discussion. We'd love to hear your comments, so be sure you're subscribed by smashing that subscribe. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers. We thank each one of you guys. Each one have been contributing. We love to see your thoughts and what you think of this offseason so far, as there's been a lot of moving parts, a lot of position battles that have been going on in training camp. So over the weekend, the Bengals held practice. They had their preseason game on Thursday. As a result, it looks like there's going to be some that are going to be missing some time. Unfortunately, it's going to be some impact players, some players that we should be keeping an eye on, ones that need to step up, ones that need to take that next step in order for this Bengals team to succeed. Now it's early. Let's get that out of the way. One preseason game down. However, sometimes these injuries can linger, and especially concerning one particular player in specific fashion. There's one that has been called out, that being Geno Stone. So here's the list of ones that were not practicing on Sunday. You have Geno Stone there at the top, and we'll get more in depth to him. It looks like it could be something where he's out at length. Zach Taylor has come out and said he is not going to be playing in that Commanders game, which that's fine. That's something that if you don't want to push a guy, if it's something that's going to be an extended period, why would you see him out there? Still, this is a guy that you're expecting to start. This is a guy you expect to make an impact concerning this year, because he was expected a lot of things last year, had a down year. You can say what you will, but if he can step his game up, that's only going to make this defense where it needs to be. It really needs a guy like Geno Stone to be where he was on the Baltimore Ravens, that ball hawk kind of guy. Another note is Dax Hill still sitting out. They're kind of bringing him along. He seems like one that's coming back from injury well. I'm also for this. It's early. It's preseason. So not a surprise that you're not going to see him practicing. Another big note is Joseph Ossai. He came up on the injury report. So this could bode well for Shamar Stewart. He could be seeing more snaps. We'll kind of come back to that as well. The surprise I'm seeing is Jermaine Burton. This is a guy that practiced on Saturday, but on Sunday did not practice at all. And when asked about it, Zach Taylor said it is now a day-to-day injury. So it could be just something that by the time we get to Monday night game, it's going to be on the 18th against the Commanders. Maybe we don't hear about this, but still kind of a surprise to see him on there. Mike Gesicki still on the injury report. Of course, you expect with Trey Hendrickson and his contract talks, and BJ Hill. I would keep an eye on BJ Hill. That's one I'm a little bit concerned about, showing up to minicamp in a boot. And since then, he's just kind of been eased back in. Again, I'm not against throwing these guys out there if they are not ready to go. At the same time, you really hope they're ready for game one. They're going to need these guys. All of these guys, they're not going to be your top level Joe Burrows. They're not going to be your Jamar Chases, T. Higgins. You know, Trey Hendrickson is that guy, but this isn't an injury. It's a contract talk. We figured this is going to be resolved. It's got to be. It's so close right now. It's a matter of just talking about guaranteed money. You figure by game one. I personally feel that's what's going to happen. By game one, maybe he does sit out a game or two, but it's not going to be the whole season. I will be shocked if he is out the whole season. It could happen, but we'll have to stay tuned to that. The other guys, in their own way, these are ones that are going to make a difference. When you're talking about trying to get a fast start, you see these names right here. That's kind of a big deal. So it's interesting, though. I think the big name you're looking at is Geno Stone. And say what you will, he had a down year last year. He just didn't seem like the guy they were hoping he would be. But he had a good camp so far. And that's what you want. You want some positive momentum. Get him back to where they're kind of expecting. Again, he doesn't need to jump off the stat sheet. He just needs to be that solid safety that they need. A ball hawk. Again, we're not expecting Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates is just proving how good of a safety he was. And I'll go back to they shouldn't have let him go. Maybe he would have hurt their cap space that they're so intent on having. And I get that. But me personally, I wish they would have got Jesse Bates. You're feeling that every single season that he's not here. I really do feel like that. And Geno Stone was not going to be that replacement by any means, by any stretch. But when they signed him, I was kind of like, okay, this might be a good filler. He might be that ball hawk kind of a guy that could come close. I mean, who knows? He might have that breakout year where he's putting up similar production, just being a solid safety. They've been lacking on that. That's what they've been exposed in on that defense. And even in preseason, he only played 4 snaps, and then the injury happened for Geno Stone. But it's interesting that with this injury, it's not just a day-to-day like the others. This is the one I would keep an eye on because they are saying it is week to week. And again, Zach Taylor saying he's not going to be playing in that Commanders game. That shows it might be more serious. And if that's the case, I actually agree with one source has come out and saying the Bengals should go out and sign a certain player. And I was very intrigued when I saw this name pop up. This is what they brought out. This is coming from Landon believes he was saying that the Bengals should sign a free agent to address this weakness because that's a weakness if Geno Stone is going to be out. I think they've got Tyson Anderson in the wings. He is really solid on special teams. I'm really excited to see what he can do. It remains to be seen, though. Is he ready to go? Is he ready to be a starter? Well, this is the solution that he said. This is the name attached to who they should sign. That being of Justin Simmons. And the reason that is brought up is he even said he would like to sign with the Bengals. He said a team that's going to give themselves a chance to go to the playoffs and go win. They were asking him which team he wanted to sign with. That was his answer. As much as I'll always be a Denver Bronco, I know the 8 years that I was there were rough, and not having a playoff appearance, especially coming off that Super Bowl and choosing Atlanta, thinking there was a shot there in the division. Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay been doing really well in that division for a while, and so going to Atlanta, thinking there was a chance there to make something special happen. This is the point. Teams like Buffalo, Philly, Cincinnati, like teams like that have always been in the mix. And obviously, Philly just winning it last year, it'd be special. So there you go. Justin Simmons is a safety that played with the Falcons last year. He put up some solid numbers. Again, he's not going to replace someone like a Jesse Bates. We got to get over that fact that, that was here and gone. But a guy like Justin Simmons, he is a guy that's not going to break the bank. Supposedly, the numbers that they're showing is around maybe a $5 million, and the Bengals got the cap space for it. It goes back to Bengals want that extra cap. Well, here you go. This is where you could make some moves. Justin Simmons could be your guy if Geno Stone is out for a period of time. He's a veteran. That's what this Bengals team needs. As much as it can be a good thing to have young guys coming in, they have that energy. You got to have some kind of veteran to bring it all together, to have that present to guide them along. So Justin Simmons could certainly be that guy. I think it might be where the Bengals actually need to be a little more aggressive. They need to look into that. Noah Fant, he was a guy that they signed, and I'm all for it. Same idea. You got Mike Gesicki out. Now that's proving to be a great signing. We'll see if he can produce. Of course, it remains to be seen. You can't jump to conclusions. It's a complete home run. But could this be the case with Justin Simmons? I think so. I think they need to go make this move. If they feel Geno Stone is really week to week, if he could potentially be missing the first week or two, I don't see why they shouldn't make some kind of signing here. But going back to, again, the injuries that were mentioned, I think the big one that kind of sticks out there is Jermaine Burton. And the reason being is he was practicing on Saturday. So keep an eye on that, because if he's day-to-day, maybe he is going to be out there for the Commanders. I'm really hoping to see Jermaine Burton out there, because he is that guy that just, if he can put it together, if he can just get in the right headspace, which so far all the feedback has been saying he has been positive, he has been working his butt off. This is a guy that could just be an X factor. I love guys like this. I love ones that the defense just kind of get taken by surprise, because you obviously have Chase and Higgins and Gesicki when healthy that defenses are going to be planning for. They're going to be taking them away. They're Burrow's favorite targets. But if Burton can live up to that potential, if he can just put it together, it's not so much of his physical traits. He's got the physical tools. It's just the mental, get in the game, really focus, get your work ethic going. I think he would really put the Bengals over the edge. He would be that guy that is going to help them to the playoffs and beyond. I really do believe that. He's one that I would want to keep an eye on. Just off field, unfortunately, that's what's gotten the best of him. It's kind of bit him in this last season, but it's great to see he's been progressing. The other injury that came up on that list there is going to be also Joseph Ossai. And the reason I bring him up is now you're seeing potential for Shamar Stewart to get more reps. And Shamar Stewart has obviously had his attention with all the contract, all this. But the big knock has been he was missing camp. He was missing those reps. Well, here you go. Now you have a chance for Shamar Stewart to step up to be possibly the guy to pair with Hendrickson. He's a rookie. He's going to be going through a lot of stuff, but that is unfortunately the expectation. When you're so desperate to get pressures on opposing quarterbacks, the Bengals have not done a good job with that. You're going to look to guys like Stewart that need to step up. And in order to do that, you got to get the reps. You got to be there. You got to show up. So with all those contract talks, when all those things were put behind us, that was why it was such a breath of fresh air, why we can move on to these kinds of things. So keep an eye, as much as Joseph Ossai, he's just going to probably be that rotational piece. That's the feeling I'm getting. I think if he can take that next step, he would be a solid pairing with Hendrickson too. At this point, may the best player win. May the best end that can be paired with Trey Hendrickson be put as a starter, because that's what the Bengals need. It's not about the name. It's not about who they're paying the most. It's who is going to put this defense to where it needs to be a solid shutdown defense on those last drives that continued to plague them in the 2024 season. We want to hear from you guys. Are you concerned about these injuries that are starting to pile up? It's football. It's going to happen. But specifically, the players that are coming up on this injury report, are you concerned? Or are you saying it's too early? Nothing really to be concerned about? We want to hear from you guys. Comment below your thoughts. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And again, subscribe if you have not already. We are aiming for 3,000 subscribers before week 1. I think we can do it. With your help, I know we can do it. We appreciate each one of you guys. And again, smash that subscribe if you have not already. Well, that's going to do it for now, guys. As we say, Uday.